Welcome to my channel Bookish English. I am Ariel and today I want to ask you something important. Have you ever tried to learn a new language, but after a few days your excitement disappeared, your words vanished, and your mind quietly said, "Maybe I am not made for this"? But listen carefully. Your brain is not weak. Your method may be weak. Most people learn languages in the wrong order. They memorize words before using sentences. They study grammar before feeling meaning. They try to speak before their ears understand the sound. In this video, I will show you how your brain really learns a new language through meaning, listening, repetition, mistakes, stories, and daily life. Please stay till the end, because the final lesson will give you a simple routine that can turn any language from a difficult subject into a natural part of your life. Lesson 1. Your brain is ready. Have you ever tried to learn a new language and felt excited on the first day, but tired after a few days? You opened a book, you watched a video, you learned some words, you repeated a few sentences, and for a moment, you felt, "Yes, this time I will really learn." But then something happened. The words started disappearing. The grammar started becoming confusing. The sentences looked easy on the page, but when you tried to speak, your mind became empty. You wanted to say something simple, but your mouth did not move. You understood a little when you listened slowly, but when real people spoke naturally, everything sounded too fast. And slowly, a painful thought entered your heart. Maybe I am not good at languages. Maybe my memory is weak. Maybe I am too old. Maybe I started too late. If you have ever felt this, listen carefully. The problem is not that your brain is broken. The problem is that your brain was probably trained in the wrong way. Most people do not fail at learning a new language because they are lazy. They fail because they were taught to treat language like a school subject instead of a living thing. In school, many of us learned language through fear. We learned grammar first. We learned rules first. We learned tests first. We learned mistakes as something shameful. We learned that one wrong sentence means we are weak. We learned that speaking should come after perfection. So we waited. We waited until our grammar became perfect. We waited until our vocabulary became big. We waited until our pronunciation became beautiful. But that perfect day never came, and while we were waiting, our mouth stayed silent. This is how many learners lose years. Not because they cannot learn, but because they are waiting for permission to speak, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment. But language does not grow in waiting. Language grows in use. Think about your first language. When you were a baby, nobody gave you a grammar book and said, "First learn the rule, then you can speak." Nobody gave you a vocabulary list and said, "Memorize these 500 words, then you can ask for water." You listened first. You heard the same sounds again and again. You watched faces. You noticed emotion. You heard tone. You connected words with actions. Someone said come, and you saw movement. Someone said eat, and you saw food. Someone said your name, and slowly your brain understood. This sound is connected to me. You did not understand everything at first. You were surrounded by sound, meaning, love, repetition, and real life. That is why your brain learned. Not because you were studying like a machine, but because language was living around you. Now, I am not saying adults should learn exactly like babies. You are not a baby. You have more awareness. You can choose your materials. You can plan your routine. You can understand explanations. You can use a dictionary. You can repeat with intention. You can record your voice. You can build a system. That is your power as an adult. But the natural order is still important. First, the brain needs sound. Then it needs meaning. Then it needs repetition. Then it needs small use. Then it needs correction. Then it becomes stronger. This is how language enters the mind. This is how a new language becomes familiar. If you jump straight into difficult grammar, long word lists, and fear of mistakes, your brain becomes tired. But if you give your brain language with meaning, emotion, and daily use, your brain starts opening. You need to understand something very important. Language is not only information. Language is sound. Language is feeling. Language is action. Language is memory. Language is connection. When you learn the word water, it is not just 5 letters on a page. It is something you drink. It is something you feel when you are thirsty. It has a sound. It has a picture. It has a place in your life. When you learn the sentence, "I am tired," it is not only grammar. It is your body. It is your evening. It is your real feeling after a long day. When language connects with real life, the brain remembers it better. But when language stays only in a notebook, it often dies there. That is why many learners know many words but cannot speak. The words are in the notebook, but not in the mouth. The words are in memory, but not in life. This is why many people learn a new language the wrong way. They collect information, but they do not build connection. They memorize words, but they do not use sentences. They study grammar, but they do not listen enough. They watch lessons, but they do not repeat aloud. They dream of fluency, but they do not create a small daily environment for the language. Then they blame themselves. They say, "I am slow," but you are not slow. Your brain is simply asking for the right kind of practice. Your brain does not only want rules, it wants examples. It wants sound. It wants patterns. It wants emotion. It wants repetition. It wants real situations. It wants to hear a sentence many times until that sentence feels normal. And here is the beautiful truth. Your brain is ready. Even if you forgot many words before, your brain is ready. Even if you failed many times before, your brain is ready. Even if you feel shy, your brain is ready. Even if you studied English or another language for years and still cannot speak well, your brain is still ready. You did not lose your ability. You only need to change the way you train it. You do not need to hate yourself. You do not need to compare yourself with others. You do not need to say, "Some people are language people, and I am not." That is a dangerous story. Do not believe it. Some people look talented because they found the right process. They listen more. They repeat more. They use the language more. They enjoy the journey more. They make mistakes without destroying themselves. And slowly, everyone says, "Wow, they are talented." But behind that talent, there is usually a method. There is repetition. There is patience. There is daily contact. So today, before you learn any technique, I want you to remove shame from your heart. Shame is heavy. Shame closes the mouth. Shame makes you afraid of simple sentences. Shame makes you think everyone is judging you. But learning a language requires openness. You need to become brave enough to sound simple, brave enough to repeat, brave enough to make mistakes, brave enough to start again. A child does not stop speaking because one sentence is wrong. A child tries again, and again, and again. That is not weakness. That is the natural road to fluency. You need some of that childlike courage, but with adult discipline. You need the freedom of a child and the focus of an adult. From now on, do not ask, "Why am I so bad at languages?" Ask a better question. Ask, "Am I giving my brain the language and the way it understands?" Because your brain understands meaning. Your brain understands repetition. Your brain understands emotion. Your brain understands patterns. Your brain understands real use. If you only give it pressure, it will resist. If you only give it grammar, it will become dry. If you only give it translation, it will stay slow. But if you give it understandable listening, useful sentences, small speaking, stories, mistakes, and daily repetition, it will start changing. This is the new promise of this journey. You are not here to force a new language into your brain. You are here to train your brain naturally. You are here to build a new sound world inside you. You are here to take language out of the notebook and bring it into your ears, your mouth, your feelings, your room, your walk, your day, and your life. This is where real learning begins. Not with panic, not with shame, not with perfection. Real learning begins when you say, "My brain can learn. I will give it the right path." And the first real key may surprise you. It is not speaking first. Yes, speaking is important, and we will talk about it deeply. But before your mouth can speak with confidence, your ears must feed your brain with meaning. The first key is listening with meaning. Not random listening. Not painful listening where everything sounds like noise. Not passive listening where your mind is sleeping. I mean listening that gives your brain sound, context, emotion, and repeated patterns. Because when your brain hears enough meaningful language, speaking becomes less scary. The language starts feeling familiar. The words stop looking like strangers. And slowly, your mouth begins to believe, maybe I can say this too. Lesson 2. Meaning comes before grammar. Now that you understand that your brain is ready, we must talk about one of the biggest traps in language learning. This trap looks serious. It looks educational. It looks intelligent. Many learners spend years inside it and think they are making progress. This trap is called learning grammar before meaning. Maybe this happened to you. You opened a grammar book. You learned tenses. You learned rules. You learned names of rules. Present simple, present continuous, past perfect, conditional sentences, active voice, passive voice. And for some time, you felt that you were learning. But then a real person asked you a simple question, and suddenly all those rules disappeared. You knew the grammar in your head, but you could not use it in your mouth. You remembered the rule, but you could not create the sentence. You looked at the person. You smiled. You became nervous. And inside your mind, one painful question started moving. If I studied so much, why can I still not speak? The answer is simple, but very important. Grammar is not the enemy. Grammar is useful. Grammar gives shape to language. Grammar helps you understand why sentences work. But grammar is not the beginning of natural fluency. Grammar is like the map of a city. A map is helpful. A map can show you roads, names, directions, and places. But if you only sit in your room and stare at the map, you will never feel the city. You will not hear the traffic. You will not smell the food. You will not see people walking. You will not know which street feels safe, which street feels busy, and which road takes you home. To know a city, you must walk inside it. In the same way, to know a language, you must live inside its meaning. You must hear it. You must see it in action. You must connect it with real things, real feelings, real people, and real moments. This is where many learners go wrong. They try to understand the language from the outside. They look at grammar like a machine. They try to build every sentence by thinking of a rule first. But real speaking is too fast for that. When someone asks, "How are you?" you do not have time to open a grammar book inside your mind. When you want to say, "I am tired," you cannot stop and calculate every word like a math problem. Speaking needs fast connection. Meaning must come quickly. The sentence must feel familiar. Your brain must know, this is the situation. This is the feeling. This is the sentence I need. That is why meaning must come before grammar. Meaning gives life to the sentence. Grammar gives structure later. A powerful idea in language learning is called understandable input or comprehensible input. Do not be afraid of this term. It simply means language that you can understand enough to follow the message. You may not understand every single word. You may not know every grammar rule. But you understand the situation. You understand the idea. You understand what is happening. For example, if someone points to a chair and says, "Sit here," you understand because the gesture helps you. If someone holds a glass and says, "Do you want water?" you understand because you can see the water. If you watch a simple story and a man is walking in the rain, and the narrator says, "He is cold, he is tired, he wants to go home," your brain does not need a long grammar lecture. Your brain sees the picture, it hears the sound, it feels the situation, it begins to understand. This is how your brain loves to learn. Your brain does not remember everything equally. It remembers what has attention, meaning, relevance, and repetition. If something matters to you, your brain pays attention. If something connects with your life, your brain keeps it longer. If something creates feeling, your memory becomes stronger. If something repeats in a meaningful way, your brain starts building a path. This is why you can forget a word from a list after 1 hour, but remember a sentence from a movie for years. The movie gave you context. It gave you emotion. It gave you voice. It gave you a face. It gave you a moment. The word was not alone. It was alive. Think about the word hungry. If I only tell you hungry means wanting food, you may remember it for a short time. But if you wake up in the morning, touch your stomach, and say, "I am hungry," the word becomes real. If you see your friend looking at food and say, "He is hungry," the word becomes useful. If you watch a story where a poor child has no food and says, "I am hungry," the word enters your heart. Now the word is not just vocabulary, it has a body, it has emotion, it has a place. This is why context teaches faster than lists. A list gives you words, context gives you meaning, and meaning is the food of memory. Now let us talk about translation. Many learners translate every word in their head. They hear English, then they move it into their native language. They want to speak English, so they first build a sentence in their native language. Then they translate it into English. In the beginning, this can help. Translation is not evil. Translation is a bridge. But if you live on the bridge forever, you never reach the city. If you translate every word forever, your speaking will always feel slow. Your mind will become crowded. First, you think in your language, then you search for English words, then you worry about grammar, then you worry about pronunciation. By the time you are ready, the conversation has already moved on. This is why many learners say, "I know English, but I cannot speak quickly." The problem is often not knowledge. The problem is the long road inside the mind. You need to build a shorter road. This is called direct connection. It means you connect the new language directly with meaning, not always through your native language. When you see water, do not first think of the word in your language and then translate it into English. Look at the water and say, "Water." When you drink it, say, "I am drinking water." When you feel tired, do not first create a full sentence in your native language. Feel the tiredness and say, "I am tired." When you feel hungry, touch your stomach and say, "I am hungry." When you are walking, say, "I am walking." When you are reading, say, "I am reading." These sentences may look simple, but they are powerful. They are not childish, they are brain training. You are teaching your brain to connect life directly with English. At first, this may feel slow and strange. That is normal. Your brain is used to the old road. The old road says, think in native language first, translate second, speak third. Now you are building a new road. The new road says, see meaning, feel meaning, say it in English. This new road becomes stronger with repetition. Do not expect it to become natural in one day. A road in the brain becomes strong when you walk on it again and again. If every morning you see water and say, water, if every afternoon you feel hungry and say, I am hungry, if every night you open a book and say, I am reading, your brain slowly understands, this language is not a school subject anymore. This language is connected to my life. This is why learning simple sentences from daily life is so powerful. Many learners want big words too early. They want difficult vocabulary because difficult vocabulary makes them feel advanced. But your real fluency begins with words that live around you every day. Water, food, door, room, phone, book, walk, sit, stand, sleep, tired, happy, worried, busy, ready. These are not small words, these are foundation words. If you cannot use the foundation words quickly, difficult words will not save you. A strong language learner is not the person who knows rare words but cannot ask for help. A strong language learner is the person who can express real life clearly, simply, and confidently. So today, I want you to practice in a very simple way. Look around your room and name what you see in English. Do not make it complicated. Say, this is a chair. This is my phone. This is a book. The door is open. The window is closed. Then add action. I am sitting. I am standing. I am walking. I am reading. Then add feeling. I am tired. I am happy. I am hungry. I am calm. Then add a little more life. I am tired, but I will study. I am hungry, so I will eat. I am reading because I want to learn. This is how meaning becomes language. This is how language leaves the page and enters your body. And when you study grammar later, it will not feel dead. It will feel familiar. When someone explains, I am walking, your brain will say, I know this sentence, I have used it. When someone explains present continuous, it will not be a scary name. It will be a label for something you already feel. This is the correct place of grammar. Grammar should explain the language you are meeting, not block you from meeting it. Grammar should help you notice patterns, not make you afraid to speak. Grammar should be your guide, not your prison. Remember this deeply. Meaning comes before grammar. Life comes before rules. Use comes before perfection. If you connect English or any new language with real things, real actions, and real feelings, your brain will begin to trust it. The language will not feel like a foreign object anymore. It will start becoming part of your day. And once meaning becomes clear, the next step is sound. Because a language is not only something you understand with your eyes, it is something your ears must recognize, your mouth must feel, and your brain must hear again and again until the sound becomes familiar. In the next lesson, we will go deeper into listening, because before a new language can come out of your mouth with confidence, it must first enter your brain with meaning, rhythm, and repeated sound. Lesson 3. Listen until it lives. Before you can speak a new language with confidence, your ears must first become friends with that language. This is one of the biggest secrets many learners ignore. They want to speak quickly. They want beautiful sentences. They want fluent answers. They want confidence in conversation, but they have not listened enough. Their brain has not heard the language enough times to feel safe with it. So when real people speak, everything sounds fast. The words stick together. The sentence begins and ends before the learner can understand the first part. Then the learner feels ashamed and says, "Why can I understand my teacher, but I cannot understand real people?" The answer is simple. Your brain does not only need knowledge. Your brain needs sound familiarity. It needs to hear the rhythm, the speed, the tone, the pauses, the common phrases, and the natural music of the language again and again. Many learners cannot understand fast speech because their brain is still treating the new language like noise. The ears may hear the sound, but the brain does not yet know how to separate it. In your native language, you do not hear every word slowly. You hear connected sounds, but your brain is trained. Your brain knows where one word ends and another word begins. Your brain can guess missing sounds. Your brain can understand even when people speak quickly, softly, or with emotion. But in a new language, your brain has not built that filter yet. This is why normal English can sound like one long river of sound. It is not because you are weak, it is because your listening system is still new. Your brain needs repeated exposure before it can say, I know this sound, I know this pattern, I know this sentence shape. This is why listening comes before speaking. Listening fills the brain with patterns. Speaking uses those patterns. If there is nothing inside, the mouth struggles outside. Imagine trying to sing a song you have never heard. You may read the lyrics, but you will not know the music. Language is the same. Grammar gives you words on paper, but listening gives you the music. The voice rises. The voice falls. Some words become strong. Some words become soft. Some sounds disappear when people speak naturally. What are you doing may become, "Whatcha doing?" I am going to may become, "I'm gonna." If you never listen to real language, these natural sounds surprise you. But if you listen daily, your brain slowly stops panicking. It starts recognizing. This is what I call brain soaking. Brain soaking means you give your brain regular contact with the language until the sound becomes familiar. It does not mean you sit for hours and suffer with content you do not understand. It means you let your brain meet the language every day through understandable listening. A little confusion is okay. Total confusion is not always helpful. If you understand nothing, your brain may become tired and switch off. But if you understand enough to follow the situation, your brain stays awake. This is the easy enough content rule. Choose listening that is not too easy and not too painful. You should understand some words, some phrases, the general situation, or at least the emotion. If you understand around half of what is happening, that is a good place to grow. If you understand more, even better. If you understand nothing, choose easier content. Do not call yourself weak, just choose better input. And here is a very important subtitle strategy. In the beginning, subtitles can help you, but you must use them wisely. If you are learning English, English subtitles can help your ears connect sound with spelling. You hear the word. You see the word. Your brain connects them. But if you always use subtitles in your native language, your brain may stop listening and start reading translation. Translation subtitles feel comfortable, but they can keep you dependent. So use native language subtitles only when you truly need them to understand the story. Then slowly move toward English subtitles. After that, try short parts without subtitles. Listen first, then check the subtitle, then listen again. This method trains your ears instead of only feeding your eyes. Now, after listening comes shadowing. Shadowing means you listen to a short sentence, pause, and repeat it. But do not repeat like a robot. Copy the rhythm. Copy the emotion. Copy the stress. Copy the mouth movement. Your goal is not only to say the words. Your goal is to feel how the sentence moves. For example, if the sentence is, "I am learning English every day," first listen carefully. Then repeat slowly, "I am learning English every day." Use the ellipses when you practice slowly because they remind you to give space to each word. After that, say it more naturally. I am learning English every day. First, slow control. Then natural flow. This is how your mouth learns. Your mouth also needs training. Speaking is not only mental, it is physical. Your lips, tongue, jaw, throat, and breath all work together. In your native language, these muscles already know what to do. In English or any new language, some sounds may feel strange because your mouth has not practiced them enough. This is why pronunciation improves with repetition. not only with thinking. If you cannot pronounce a sound today, do not hate yourself. Train it, repeat it, listen to it. Watch the mouth shape if possible. Record yourself. Compare gently. Your mouth is like a musical instrument. At first, it makes rough sounds. With practice, it becomes clearer. Stories make listening even stronger because stories give your brain sound with emotion. A word alone is easy to forget, but a word inside a story has a home. If you hear the sentence, "He was tired, but he continued" inside a powerful story, you do not only hear grammar. You feel struggle. You see a person walking forward. You understand the emotion. That emotion helps memory. This is why stories are one of the best tools for language learning. They bring vocabulary, grammar, listening, feeling, and imagination together. When you listen to stories again and again, your brain does not feel like it is studying a dead lesson. It feels like it is living inside the language. So listen every day. Listen with meaning. Listen to stories. Listen to simple conversations. Use subtitles wisely. Shadow short sentences. Train your mouth slowly. Repeat until the sound becomes familiar. At first, the language may feel like noise. Then you will recognize one word, then one phrase, then one sentence. Then one day, something beautiful happens. The language stops feeling like a stranger knocking on the door. It starts feeling like a voice you know. And when listening fills your brain with enough sound, rhythm, and meaning, the next door opens, because listening fills the brain, but speaking opens the mouth. Lesson 4. Speak before perfect. Maybe this has happened to you. You are watching an English video and you understand many sentences. You are reading a paragraph and the meaning is clear. You are listening to a slow lesson and you feel, yes, I know this. But then someone asks you a very simple question in English. What do you do? How was your day? Can you explain this? And suddenly, your mind becomes blank. The words are somewhere inside you, but they do not come out. Your heart becomes fast. Your mouth feels locked. You start translating. You start checking grammar. You start worrying about pronunciation. You think, what if I make a mistake? What if they laugh? What if I sound foolish? And because of that fear, you stay silent. Not because you know nothing, but because the pressure is too heavy. This is one of the most painful moments for a language learner. You understand more than you can say. But you need to know something very important. Understanding and speaking are connected, but they are not the same skill. Recognition is when your brain sees or hears a word and says, I know this. Production is when your brain must find the word, build the sentence, move the mouth, control the voice, and send the message in real time. That is a different kind of training. Many learners practice recognition for years. They read, they listen, they watch, they understand, but they do not practice production enough. So when speaking time comes, the brain panics because it has not walked that road many times. This does not mean you are weak. It means your speaking muscle needs training. Language is not math. This one idea can free you from a lot of fear. In math, one wrong number can destroy the answer. But language is different. Language is communication. Language is a bridge between your mind and another person's mind. If your message crosses that bridge, communication has started. You do not need a perfect bridge on day one. You need a small bridge that can carry meaning. If you say, "Yesterday I go market," it is not perfect, but people can understand that you went to the market yesterday. Later, you can learn to say, "Yesterday I went to the market." But if fear stops you from saying anything, there is nothing to improve. A broken sentence can be repaired. A silent mouth cannot be corrected. So give yourself permission to speak with imperfect sentences. This is not permission to stay careless forever. It is permission to start. You will improve grammar. You will improve pronunciation. You will improve vocabulary. But improvement needs material. Your mistakes are material. Your small sentences are material. Your nervous attempts are material. Every time you speak, your brain collects information. It learns what is easy. It learns what is missing. It learns which words come quickly and which words need practice. This is how speaking grows. You do not become confident first and then speak. You speak small sentences first, and confidence slowly comes to sit beside you. Start from day one, but start small. Day one speaking does not mean giving a long speech. It does not mean talking for 1 hour with a native speaker. It means opening your mouth and using one real sentence. Say, "I am learning English." Say, "I do not understand." Say, "Please repeat." Say, "I need help." Say, "I am tired today." Say, "I want water." Say, "I am reading a book." Say, "I am going home." These are simple sentences, but simple sentences are not weak. Simple sentences are the first steps of real speaking. A child does not begin with a perfect lecture. A child begins with small words, small needs, small feelings, and small messages. And slowly, those small messages become real conversation. The best place to start speaking is often with yourself. Self-talk is not strange. Self-talk is private practice. It is a safe room for your voice. When you wake up, say, "I am awake." When you stand up, say, "I am standing." When you drink water, say, "I am drinking water." When you feel worried, say, "I feel nervous, but I will continue." When you are walking outside, describe what you see. "I see a car. The road is busy. The weather is hot. People are walking." This kind of practice may look small, but it teaches your brain to produce language without waiting for a perfect situation. You are training the speaking road. Recording your voice is also powerful. Take your phone and record 1 minute. Talk about your day. Do not stop for perfection. Say whatever you can say. Maybe your sentence is simple. Maybe your pronunciation is not clear. Maybe you forget words. That is okay. After recording, listen gently. Do not attack yourself. Just notice. Ask. Which sentence was hard? Which word was missing? What can I say better next time? Then learn one better sentence and repeat it. This is how you turn weakness into practice. Your recording is not a judgment. It is a mirror. A mirror does not hate you. It only shows you what to improve. If possible, find a language parent. A language parent is not necessarily your real parent. It can be a teacher, a friend, a tutor, a speaking partner, or a kind person online. The job of a language parent is simple. They listen patiently, understand your meaning, correct gently, and help you feel safe. This is important because fear closes the mouth. Safety opens it. When you speak with someone who laughs at every mistake, your brain learns danger. But when you speak with someone who listens kindly and helps you continue, your brain learns courage. You need that safe environment, especially in the beginning. And remember, mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are feedback. A mistake is not a red mark on your personality. A mistake is information. If you say, "He go," and someone gently says, "He goes," your brain receives a correction. If you say a word wrong and then hear the correct sound, your brain updates the pattern. If you forget a word during self-talk, that missing word shows you what to learn next. This is learning. Your mistakes are not walls. They are signs on the road. They show you where to look, where to repeat, where to grow. So do not wait until your English is perfect. Speak before perfect. Speak with small sentences. Speak to yourself. Record your voice. Find safe people. Make mistakes and learn from them. Every small sentence is a victory because it trains your brain to move from understanding to using. Listening fills your brain with sound and meaning, but speaking teaches your brain to bring that language into the world. And as you speak more, you will notice something important. Speaking becomes easier when you do not depend on lonely words. You need ready sentences, useful phrases, and small language pieces that your mouth can use quickly. That is where fluency begins to grow stronger. And that is exactly what we will explore in the next lesson. Lesson 5. Sentences build fluency. Many learners know hundreds of words, but when it is time to speak, they still become silent. This is a very painful feeling. You may know the word happy, you may know the word tired, you may know the word market, you may know the word learn, but when someone asks you, "How was your day?" your mind does not give you a full answer. It gives you small broken pieces. One word comes, then another word comes, then grammar fear comes, then translation starts, then your confidence falls. This happens because single words are not enough for speaking. Single words are like bricks. Bricks are useful, but you cannot live inside loose bricks. You need walls. You need rooms. You need a house. In the same way, words are important, but sentences are the house where language lives. This is why you must stop collecting lonely words and start building living sentences. A lonely word sits alone in your notebook. A living sentence moves inside your life. If you learn only the word tired, you may forget it or fail to use it. But if you learn "I am tired today," your brain gets a complete message. If you learn "I am tired, but I will continue," now the sentence has emotion, it has struggle, it has motivation, it has real life. If you learn "I was tired yesterday, but today I feel better," now you are also learning grammar naturally. You are learning time, you are learning feeling, you are learning sentence shape, and you are not learning it as a dead rule. You are learning it as something you can actually say. This is one of the fastest ways to build speaking power. Learn phrases from day one. Do not wait until you know all grammar. Do not wait until you know thousands of words. Start with small phrases that solve real problems. Say, I want to learn. Say, I need help. Say, please repeat. Say, I do not understand. Say, how do you say this in English? Say, I am trying my best. Say, today I learned a new word. These phrases are not small. They are survival tools. They help you stay inside the language. They help you ask questions. They help you continue when your mind becomes stuck. A learner who knows 10 useful sentences can communicate more than a learner who knows 100 separate words but cannot join them. Your brain loves ready-made pieces of language. In linguistics, we can call them chunks. A chunk is a small piece of language that native speakers use again and again without building it from zero every time. For example, by the way, at the same time, I think that the problem is, I want to say, in my opinion, and let me explain. These chunks make speaking faster because your brain does not need to create every word separately. It can pick up a ready piece and place it inside the sentence. This is why fluent speakers sound smooth. They are not inventing every sentence word by word. They are using patterns, chunks, phrases, and sentence frames that already live inside them. So your practice should focus on sentence frames. A sentence frame is like a safe structure. You keep the structure and change one part. For example, I want can become I want water. I want to learn English. I want to speak confidently. I want to understand movies. The frame I feel can become I feel tired. I feel happy. I feel nervous. I feel ready. The frame I am learning can become I am learning English. I am learning slowly. I am learning every day. I am learning from stories. This is how your brain learns grammar without panic. You are not memorizing a rule first. You are using a living pattern again and again. Cry. High-frequency words are also very important. Do not begin your language journey with rare words that you may never use. Start with the words people use every day. Words like go, come, want, need, think, feel, know, say, make, take, give, look, listen, eat, drink, work, sleep, and learn. These words may look basic, but they are powerful because they appear everywhere. When you know high-frequency words inside real sentences, your listening becomes easier and your speaking becomes faster. A beginner does not need to sound fancy. A beginner needs to sound clear. Clear language is stronger than complicated language that you cannot control. Now comes repetition. Many learners hate repetition because they think repetition means they are slow. But repetition is not a sign of weakness. Repetition is training. Your brain does not make a sentence automatic after hearing it one time. It needs to meet that sentence again and again in different moments. First, the sentence feels new. Then it feels familiar. Then it becomes easy. Then it comes out of your mouth without too much thinking. That is fluency. Fluency is not magic. Fluency is repeated language becoming automatic. When you repeat one useful sentence 50 times, You are not acting like a machine. You are teaching your brain, your mouth, your ear, and your memory to work together. Use spaced repetition, not only one-day repetition. If you learn 5 sentences today, review them tomorrow. Review them again after 3 days. Review them again after 1 week. Then use them in self-talk. This is powerful because memory becomes stronger when the brain meets information again after a little time. Do not only read the sentence. Say it, hear it, write it, use it. For example, if your sentence is, "I am trying to improve my English," say it in the morning. Write it in your notebook. Use it in a voice recording. Say it again before sleep. After a few days, the sentence will feel less foreign. It will start becoming yours. Scriptorium is another useful support tool. It means you read a sentence aloud, then write it while saying each word, then read it aloud again. This connects your eyes, hand, mouth, ears, and brain. It slows you down in a good way. For example, choose the sentence, "I am learning English every day." First, say it aloud. Then write it slowly while saying each word. Then read it again with confidence. This is not only writing practice, it is full body language practice. You are making the sentence pass through different doors of the brain. Mnemonics can also help, especially with difficult words. A mnemonic is a memory trick. You create a funny picture or connection to remember a word. If a new word sounds like another word you can create a strange image in your mind. The stranger the image, the easier it can be to remember. But remember, mnemonics are only helpers. They are not the whole method. A word remembered through a trick must still be used in sentences. Otherwise, it stays as a trick, not as real language. So build your fluency with living sentences. Collect useful phrases. Use high-frequency words. Practice chunks. Repeat with space between days. Use scriptorium when you want deep focus. Use mnemonics when a word is difficult. But above all, use the sentence in real life. Say it when you feel it. Say it when you need it. Say it when you are alone. Say it when you record your voice. Say it until your brain stops asking, "How do I say this?" and starts saying it naturally. Sentences become strong when they live inside a daily system. And in the final lesson, we will bring everything together into a simple routine. Because a new language does not become part of you by accident. It becomes part of you when you give it a place in your life every single day. Lesson 6. Make language your life. Motivation is beautiful, but motivation alone is not enough. Motivation is the spark that makes you start, but environment is the firewood that keeps the fire alive. Many learners feel powerful at night. They watch one video and feel, "This is it. Tomorrow I will study for 2 hours. Tomorrow I will change my life. Tomorrow I will become fluent." But then tomorrow comes. The phone starts calling. Messages arrive. Work begins. Family needs something. The body feels tired. The mind says, "Maybe later." Then later becomes night again, and the learner feels guilty. This cycle repeats for weeks, months, and sometimes years. The problem is not always lack of desire. Many learners deeply want to learn. The problem is that their life has no protected place for the language. If your language only depends on mood, it will disappear when your mood changes. But if your language has a place in your day, it starts becoming part of your life. This is why environment matters so much. Your brain learns what your environment repeats. If your environment repeats your native language all day, your brain stays inside that language. If your environment repeats scrolling, noise, random videos, and distraction, your attention becomes weak. But if you create even a small language environment around you, your brain begins to change. You do not need to move to another country to begin. You can create artificial immersion at home. Artificial immersion means you bring the language into your normal life on purpose. You hear it in your room. You see it on your phone. You speak it while walking. You write it in your notebook. You repeat it before sleep. You make your home a small language world. Do not make this complicated. If you are learning English, put English around your life in simple ways. Watch one simple English video every day. Listen to one short English story while walking. Put small labels on things in your room, door, table, chair, phone, book, mirror, window. When you touch the object, say the word. When you use the object, make a sentence. I open the door. I sit on the chair. I am looking in the mirror. I am reading a book. This is not childish. This is direct connection. You are teaching your brain that English is not only inside a lesson. English is inside your room, your actions, your body, and your day. That is how a language becomes familiar. But environment is not only about what you see, it is also about what you remove. If your phone is always in your hand, your language practice will be weak. Not because you are a bad learner, but because attention is limited. Your brain cannot deeply learn while jumping every 10 seconds from a sentence to a notification, from a notification to a reel, from a reel to a message, from a message to another video. Deep learning needs attention. Language learning needs attention because your brain must hear, compare, repeat, remember, and use. So create a small phone-free language space. It can be only 20 minutes. But protect those 20 minutes like something valuable. Put the phone away if you are not using it for the lesson. Close extra tabs. Stop searching for the perfect method. Choose one simple practice and do it. This is deep work for language learning. Deep work does not mean you study all day. It means that for a short time, you are fully present. Your ears are listening. Your mouth is repeating. Your brain is noticing. Your heart is calm. This is better than 2 hours of distracted study. A focused 20 minutes can change more than a scattered evening. In those 20 minutes, do not try to do everything. Listen to one short story, repeat 5 sentences, speak for 1 minute, review yesterday's sentences. That is enough for a beginner. The goal is not to impress yourself with a big plan. The goal is to build a routine you can repeat. Here is a simple daily routine for beginners. In the morning, listen for 10 minutes. Choose a simple story, a slow English video, or a short conversation that you can understand enough. Do not worry about every word. Listen for meaning. In the afternoon, repeat 5 useful sentences. Say them slowly. Say them naturally. Change one word and make them personal. For example, I am learning English. I am learning English every day. I am learning English because I want confidence. In the evening, speak for 5 minutes about your day. If 5 minutes feels hard, speak for 2 minutes. Say simple things. Today I worked. I felt tired. I drank tea. I watched a video. I learned 3 sentences. At night, listen again calmly. Let your brain meet the same sound before sleep. This is simple, realistic, and powerful. If you are a serious learner and you want faster progress, use a stronger routine. Spend 30 minutes in deep practice. First 10 minutes, listen to understandable content. Next 10 minutes, shadow short sentences. Listen, pause, repeat, and copy the rhythm. Last 10 minutes, review and speak. Then add 10 minutes of self-talk or recording later in the day. Talk about your plans, your feelings, your work, your room, your memories, or your dreams. After that, use passive exposure during walking, cleaning, or traveling. Listen to stories, podcasts, or slow conversations. Passive exposure is not the main meal, but it is a good snack for the brain. Your deep practice builds skill. Your passive listening keeps the language close. Stories must become one of your strongest tools. A story is not only entertainment. A story is a memory engine. When you hear a story, your brain does not receive random words. It receives people, places, emotions, problems, and solutions. A story gives vocabulary a home. It gives grammar a reason. It gives repetition a feeling. If a character says, "I was afraid, but I continued," you do not only learn past tense. You feel fear. You see courage. You remember the sentence because it carries emotion. This is why learning through stories is so powerful for the brain. Emotion strengthens memory. Meaning gives direction. Repetition builds familiarity. Stories bring all 3 together. This is also why you should choose content you enjoy. Many successful language learners do not all use the same method. Some read books, some watch shows, some talk to people, some use flashcards, some write, some use self-talk, some use tutors. But the best learners usually find a method they can continue. Enjoyment matters because the method you enjoy is the method you repeat, and the method you repeat is the method that changes you. If you hate your routine, you will leave it. If your routine feels alive, useful, and connected to your life, you will come back to it. This is not laziness. This is psychology. The brain returns to what feels meaningful. But enjoyment must walk with patience. Do not ask, "Can I become fluent in 7 days?" Ask, "Can I become better today than I was yesterday?" This question is honest. It protects you from false promises. Real progress is often quiet. One day you understand one extra sentence. One day you speak without stopping for 5 seconds. One day you remember a word you always forgot. One day you listen to a story and feel, "I understood more today." These are small, visible signs. Celebrate them. They are not small. They are proof that your brain is changing. And slowly, your identity changes. At first, you say, "I am trying to learn English." Later, you say, "I practice English every day." Then one day you say, "English is part of my life." That identity is powerful. A person who only wants fluency may quit when motivation falls, but a person who sees himself as a daily learner continues. You are not waiting for a magical future. You are becoming that person through small, daily actions. Every sentence you repeat is a vote for your new identity. Every story you listen to is a vote. Every mistake you correct is a vote. Every day you return is a vote. Now look at the whole journey we have built together. In Lesson 1, you learned that your brain is ready, and you are not bad at languages. In Lesson 2, you learned that meaning comes before grammar, because language must connect with real life. In Lesson 3, you learned that listening fills your brain with sound, rhythm, and patterns. In Lesson 4, you learned to speak before perfect, because confidence comes after small action. In Lesson 5, you learned that sentences build fluency, not lonely words. And now, in Lesson 6, you learn the final truth. All these methods become powerful only when they live inside your daily system. So start today. Do not wait for a perfect notebook. Do not wait for the perfect app. Do not wait for the perfect teacher. Do not wait for perfect confidence. Choose one story. Choose 5 sentences. Choose 10 minutes. Listen. Repeat. Speak. Make a mistake. Smile. Try again tomorrow. This is how a new language grows. Not through pressure. Not through shame. Not through one heroic day. A new language grows through small, honest moments, repeated with patience. Let this be your first promise to yourself. Like this video if it gave you hope. Share it with a friend who feels stuck. And subscribe to Bookish English, because here we do not only learn English, we build confidence, one simple sentence at a time. Now you know the truth. A new language does not enter your life through pressure. It enters through meaning, listening, repetition, small mistakes, useful sentences, and daily practice. So do not leave this video thinking, I will start one day. Start today. Choose one sentence. Repeat it. Feel it. Use it. Let your brain hear the language again and again until it becomes familiar. And if this video gave you hope, like it, share it, and write in the comments. My brain is ready. Keep learning. Keep speaking. Keep becoming stronger. Bye-bye. I will see you soon in the next video.